Oh, great. Hot.
We are live. It is 3:05 Central Standard Time in the United States, 9:05 BST in the United Kingdom. This is the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe.
Hey.
Coming to you live this 13th day of July, 2025. And if you're watching the stream, congratulations, you understood the assignment. If you are not watching the stream, you can catch it later because it's on the YouTubes. And we record it. And we also upload an audio podcast of said show. And you can listen to that too and download that and share it with all your humans that you know, or your random humans. Just put a sticker up somewhere.
You can share it with cats and dogs and whoever you like, not just humans.
Anybody who can download it. We don't even care if they're sentient humans. If they just can have a download and we can get some likes and clicks and some shares and some downloads, that's all that matters. If you're watching the stream, you will notice that we have the captain. It's been a while since he's been busy. We've been busy. We've been trying to get him on the show, but he's got a lot of stuff going on because, unfortunately, he's not just basically hanging around just to come on the Nomad Tech Project every Sunday. He has other things like life.
Yeah, good old work.
Yeah, good old work.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
It's great to be back. It's been too long.
It has been too long, and we try to get to like a once a month kind of cadence, but then it seemed like the summer kind of got around, and I know some stuff happened with your work, and I think now
life gets in the way.
Working like weekends now, which we can kind of touch real quick on that kind of thing. And so because your schedule has kind of changed a little bit, obviously we do this on a weekend, so that kind of makes it a little bit more hard to get. But I definitely want to reach out to you last couple of weeks ago and said, hey, I know you're squeezed for time on a Saturday and Sunday, but if you could spend an hour with us, that would be awesome.
Heck yeah, it's great. And luckily today was a slow day.
Well, good deal.
So, yeah. I work at a shipwreck museum, so it's cool. It's a Sunday. So,
well, see, I noticed the case that says "I love the Steamboat Arabia."
Yes,
So I will tell you, I went to Kansas City. It's been actually the reason we went there. I was with a friend of mine. She was, and this shows you how long ago. This might have been like maybe 15 years ago. God, it might have been more. I don't think so, but right around. So she is a Philadelphia Phillies fan, and she's older. She's like in her 60s, and so her favorite player is Larry Bowa. He was the shortstop for the Phillies back in the 80s, early 80s and stuff like that. He was actually the third base coach for the Angels at that time. So we actually went to see a Royals-Angels game at Kauffman Stadium, which was the first time I've ever been to Kauffman. And he was the third base coach. We went there just because it was easy to get, it was like, And so I remember going down there to the ticket window, like literally it's like 4 hours before the game starts. And like, hey, what do you guys have best available? And she's like, oh, we got some first base field box. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, we have first base field box seats that available for like purchase through really? They're not like season tickets. She goes, oh no, we don't have a lot of season ticket holders. And this is when the Royals were really bad. Like they were terrible, and they couldn't sell out. So we went there, and while we were there before the game started the next day, we went to the Steamboat Arabia Museum because somebody had mentioned it was really fascinating. I had never been there. I didn't even knew anything about it. I knew the history of the Missouri River and steamboats and all that stuff, but I really didn't know the history of this specific steamboat. And there's a whole museum dedicated to it, which is I thought it was absolutely fascinating.
So the coolest thing about this is so the in 1856 the steamboat it was basically filled with stuff for like a general store out west, and it sank in the Missouri River and by hitting a snag, a piece of wood basically. But then the river moved over time,
right? And
it was buried in a cornfield, and so essentially all of the cargo there was no oxygen, no light, and it was cold. So it was like nature's perfect refrigerator. And when they took the stuff out, like bottles of pickles were still good that people ate.
Oh yeah. They had actually essentially pre-built homes that had nails and wood. They were all like prefabbed homes. And so everything was just like, it was totally preserved. And I was like, I remember walking through that place thinking it was one of the most amazing. So I told people, if you're going to Kansas City, I'm not a huge Kansas City fan. Just put it this way. I've been there, not feeling it. Nothing about the city, but it's like
to any fans there. But
no, well, so if you're in Kansas, I don't think we have anybody who lives in Kansas City. If they do, that's fine because I guarantee you, most people in Kansas City hate St. Louis. That's just the way it goes.
You know what? I don't hate St. Louis. It's one of those like I still if the Royals or Cardinals are playing, I'm gonna go for the Cardinals.
Right.
I've just got family here. I just don't have any family in St. Louis.
Right. And so I went there, and first of all, Kauffman Stadium's great. I've been to. I haven't been in Arrowhead. I've been near it. It's good enough. I went to Kansas City's okay. Like I said, I just thought that was. I told people if you're going for the Kansas City, really check out a sporting event, right? If you're a Kansas City Royals or Chiefs game, check out some of the barbecue because it's really, really good, and really go to the Steamboat Arabia. It's really, really fast. If you're any kind of sort of history buff, especially about the expansion westward from St. Louis, and of course, obviously in St. Louis we have the westward expansion memorial, which is the Gateway Arch, right? It's really kind of neat how it was perfectly preserved, and they have parts of the it was fast. I thought it was fast. I had never even heard of anything like that. It was really, really cool, actually.
Well, there's some cool stuff too. Like you should check out their YouTube channel. It's really good. Like they have they have some stuff that's not on display. Like there's a wood handled screwdriver that you think kind of okay, whatever, but you can unscrew the base of it.
Right.
And inside the handle are all these different heads, like a modern screwdriver. And we only found one of them, which means it was a personal item, because if it was for a store, we'd have a box of like 6 of them.
Right.
And
so there's just things that you would think that they didn't think about back in the mid 1850s. And it's like, okay, the prefabricated homes and stuff like that, and things that you didn't really think that they had kind of conceived as far as something they would need out west. They had it all on this boat. And luckily, like I said, when they found it, it was literally 30 miles away because the river had shifted. So it was just in the middle of a field somewhere. They just happened to stumble upon this essentially archaeological gold mine, really is what it came down to.
Well, and they were going to sell all of the cargo originally, but then when they realized what they had, they were like, we can't break this up. So they made the museum. And I get to work in the lab a lot too. And I tell you what, recently I've been cleaning 170-year-old door hinges. And I tell you, I've never been so excited about door hinges my whole life.
Right. So it's pretty cool. So the fact that you worked there is great because, like I said, I personally, that's one of the few things I actually did in the city that wasn't sports related. When I was there, I actually went and I thought it was awesome. I recommend to anybody who happens to be in the town, because it only takes about an hour or two to go through the museum, but it's really, really cool. If you're a history person, it's really cool.
Oh, yeah. It's funny too, because they have still all their old computers from the beginning when they opened in 91, and one of them was like an Amiga, computer. And it's got both mice, and I'm just thinking, if anybody's watched Star Trek, I'm just thinking Scotty being like, "Hello, computer," with the mouse,
right.
But it's super interesting. So it's fun. And now they're like digitizing documents and everything too. So
cool.
That's been fun. I've been helping with that a little bit.
Cool. So that just tells me where you're currently working, which is great because I know you worked at Mizzou for a while. So I'm glad you found a job that not only does okay pay wise, but something you really enjoy doing and sounds like a lot of fun and really.
Oh yeah, they pay me talk. It's great.
Yeah, the museum is really fascinating if you ever get a chance to check it out. So anyway, well, I see that I noticed that on your I thought you just visited the Steamboat Arabia Museum, so I saw the case on your phone. And if you notice, the captain is still using Xperia. So how are you feeling about all the chats about basically, the Xperia 6 is coming out, and that might be where Sony finally taps out? I mean, how do you feel about it?
I don't know. I know with the 6, they simplified the camera experience and didn't really fully replicate items. So it's like I'm happy with that. I am sticking with mine, though I wish the update situation is what stinks, because it's I'm not going to get any more OS updates because I only got 2, and then it's just security patches for another year, and that stinks. Otherwise, I've loved it. It's been great. I've shot content with it. I use it as my regular phone. Battery does really well, and so I don't know if anybody else has had issues on the later version of Android, or the last one, but sometimes I'd be in a call and I'd be scrolling, on speaker, and then it would just turn off, and then I couldn't boot it back up unless I plugged it back in because it thought the battery was dead. And apparently it was an Android problem, not an Xperia problem. Well, they could have fixed it if they cared about updates, but
I think I've had a few people mention that before,
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing that's, speaking of Xperia, that's kind of awesome is, so since I've been on last, I went to Japan. And
I saw that.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because because I was kind of looking at what phones people are using, and mostly what people are using were a mix of iPhones, Pixels, and Xperias. Very few.
Yeah, I heard Pixels fairly pretty popular in Japan, from what I understood.
The one thing though, iPhone has above people though in Japan is it's like a Suica card or whatever it is. It's like a public transit, and you can do NFC with it, but there's no app on Android for it. So I had to carry the card around. First world problems, but yeah, it was interesting. Oh yeah, so I went down to some like their used phone markets that they had down there, and oh my god, I forgot that older Japanese phone Android phones had this. They had a little antenna that was that we could bring up and deploy. Their TV,
right?
Yeah, so cool. Also, our hotel was in Shinagawa, and we were really close to the Sony, international headquarters.
Oh wow!
And so I went in there on the last day, and I have a recording of it because I have those Meta glasses, and cool. I went in and reset all of their phones, their display phones, to photos of my face, being like, and then I booked it before because I was like, they're going to deport me if they see.
Right.
But yeah, funny. It was cool. It was cool. I actually went there and I was like, I'd like to talk to somebody at the Xperia team, and they just found like somebody who could speak English, like a secretary who could speak English and just listen to me.
What was the motivation to go to Japan? Is that something you always wanted to do? Was it a business trip? Were you with friends? Like, I'm curious.
So I went with family, and we went to Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, okay.
And I only went one day to Star Wars Celebration. It was fun. There was just a lot of waiting in line, and I just wanted to explore. And we were in Tokyo. So that was really fun. We went. If any of you guys have watched Anthony Bourdain,
I have.
Okay, when he went to Tokyo, and there was a golden guy. It was like all these little alleys that have these micro bars in. They have like seats for 4 or 5 people, and there's like they're stacked, and there's a different establishment up top, and it was awesome. It was so cool.
Right.
We actually found the one that he went to.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. What else? Everyone is so polite there. It is amazing.
Yeah, that's what I like about their culture, man.
Oh yeah. They're also, oh my god, they're 7-Elevens. So good. So good. Like I love that it's called onigiri, and it's like a triangular rice cake that's wrapped in seaweed, but it's stuffed with other things. Like I like the tuna mayo, and it's so good. Dramatic lighting.
Right. What are you doing? Dramatic.
I just thought it looked like dark.
Well, yeah, but now you're like a shadow.
Now you're like, I'm out for vengeance.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
You're such a bully, Sam.
I'm just like, all of a sudden you're just like you're like really well lit, and then like in the shadow, it's just kind of I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. I have no idea, dude. So I'm sorry if you're going to hear me cut in and out. It's because this microphone I'm using, this HyperX microphone, is trying to do a firmware update, but it's not working, and so it's kind of like not working.
Firmware update while you're doing the podcast?
No, it's doing it on its own. Like I tried to do it before the show, and it won't.
AI is taking control.
Yeah, assuming direct control. It's the brand is Skynet.
Yeah, it sucks. Like I've been trying to I try to do it like 45 minutes before the show, and it's like 2 minutes. Just stand by, and it will not update. It just kind of like it's just hung. And then the problem is I've got
meta footage. I want to see this meta footage. Have you got it anywhere?
Family Mart, 7-Eleven, or Lawson's. I don't know what the other two are. I know of 7-Eleven. I don't know what Family Mart and Lawson's. Well, I don't know what those are.
I can find that footage here.
Yeah, I need to see it.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I would say, considering Peter, since I don't have a Family Mart or a Lawson's near me, I would say 7-Eleven just by default, since I don't know what the other two are. They do have 7-Elevens here in the U.S. Isn't that Simpsons?
The only ones in the U.S. that don't suck are in Hawaii because they're run by the Japanese. Because like 7-Eleven is a Japanese company, but most of the 7-Elevens here are like they have a deal where it's managed differently. It stinks.
I will tell you that maybe not so much. We have what we have.
There we go. I sent it.
Yeah, what we have in near me, it's kind of like if you think that it would be kind of like a 7-Eleven on steroids, it's more like a gas station. It's Wally's. Yeah, Wally's is crazy. Like you should check that place out because it's nuts. We have one and it's for the Great American Road Trip is what it's listed. So I haven't been to 7-Eleven in a long time, but Wally's is like insane. It's crazy.
No, that's the Quickie Mart, Jermaine.
It's beyond a Quickie Mart. So it's actually this is what happens when Americans take something like a Quickie Mart and to say, you know what, it's not epic enough. We're gonna do all that shit and we're gonna go crazy. So look, check this shit out. This is what a Wally's looks like. It's like this.
Okay.
It's absolutely nuts. So it's like a gas station, but it's got like 80 pumps, and then they got inside. They have like this. It's like a food court, restaurant, retail. It's crazy. So we have one in St. Louis.
Interesting.
What do you call it?
Wally's. It's called Wally's. And they do like this Great American Road Trip. So like they have like these kind of things that look like, I don't know,
you've bought all the merch, haven't you?
Oh yeah, dude, I've gone in there. Dude, they have a Wally's like a hot sauce. It's incredible, and it's like it's pretty good. So that's what we have. We don't have 7-Elevens anymore. We got these Wally's. Mean?
Do they sell beaver nuggets?
Beaver nuggets. Well, okay. So like it's kind of like beef jerky. Do you guys have beef jerky in the UK?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like that, but like this is what the inside looks like. It's like they've got coffee, dude. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's absolutely fucking insanity.
Looks American.
They're going to be giving Quick Trip a run for their money,
right? And then this is what they have, like regular merch, and then they got you can buy like camping stuff. So they have like camping stoves and all this kind of stuff. Then they've got food, and they got sandwiches, and they've got it's nuts, dude. It's insanity.
This podcast brought to you by Wally's.
Right, exactly. Absolutely not brought by Wally's. But anyway,
Sam's definitely a Wally.
I'm a Wally. So they probably do sell beaver nuggets. It's probably just beef jerky, but it's pretty good. Anyway, so let's get back to, obviously we had Samsung Unpacked since the last time me and Joe spoke. And of course they did the Flip 7 Fold 7. And they have the FE version of the Flip, which is sure. Okay. And then I was kind of bummed they didn't do the trifold. I was hoping they would kind of talk about their trifold stuff, and obviously it's not ready for prime time or anything. So that's a little disappointing because I would like to try that. So I don't watch Unpacked events or Google I/O or WW. I just don't watch those as a general rule. So you've seen some of the stuff, obviously, because you knew when it was going to go down. Here's the thing. You don't know what date the Samsung Unpacked is. What you do know is as soon as it's done, the embargo's lifted, and all of a sudden,
YouTube.
It detonates like it's like Chernobyl, right? It just explodes for all this kind of shit. So I don't know, man. The Fold 7 looks great. I know people are pissing and moaning about the battery capacity, the fact it's not carbon silicate or whatever it is. It's 4400, but it's super thin. It's gotten a little wider, but they ditched the S Pen, so it's like they give you a couple of things that are kind of like and through Samsung fashion, they take away some shit that you should just leave in because why not leave in? So I don't know. What do you think? I mean, and it's also $100 more. So we're at $19.99, right?
I think it's weird because like technically there are a lot of things to like about it, especially with the change in form factor a little bit. But in my personal opinion, I think that it'd be healthier for the segment for them to just, even if they iterate it again, which would piss people off, but lower the cost. That's the biggest problem for foldables right now is cost. And I see a handful of people with like a fold, but most people I see with foldables are getting the flips. And it's just one of those things where I just think that Samsung is kind of pushing the I don't know. Sorry. I just don't think this is as accessible to people.
Well, I guess my question is, do you think it's because of cost, or is it because of people can kind of get down with the Flip because it turns into a regular kind of candy bar phone? Not only is it more affordable, but it's more of a form factor they're used to, as opposed to the foldable, which is like super expensive, but that form factor isn't really. A lot of people don't really find it. Like, I don't really think a foldable really fits into my work, like my workflow, right? As a user, like I'm not going to need a tablet or whatever. Do you think it's part of that, or because I can't think it's just the price point? I realize the price point's $2,000. I get that, but at 18 now, my question is if it were a foldable at $12.99, would you sell more units? I don't know because you have right now you can get the original Pixel Fold right for $400 or $500 on the used market, right? So you've got Samsung's 3 and 4 and 5 and maybe even the 6, right? You could probably get a Fold 6 for probably $700-800, right?
Like,
so
yeah, that's around the minimum price I'm seeing, though unlocked is going to be closer to 8 or 9.
In my opinion, Sam, though, why would you get a Fold 6 when there's better foldables out there on the market?
Well, and that's the trick but remember,
we're trapped.
No, because I in the UK you have the Vivo and the Honor and the the Pocos, and you can deal in the US. You don't have that because, like, for a person like me who's on AT&T, I could get a nothing phone, right? But it's not going to be on the whitelist, so connectivity might be. I mean, here's the thing: I'm okay with losing bands of service like 5G. I'm okay. I'm almost willing to lose 5G, right? I'm okay with even that if I can actually get the damn phone to work. But the problem is on AT&T, Huawei Pura, right? X, right? Yep. Any of the Vivos, any of the Xiaomis, any of the Oppos, any of those phones, the Honors, it just will not work on an AT&T network. It's not because I can't get it. It's not because I don't want to try it. But I know for a fact I'm going to fight the fact that I can't even make a phone call. And it's just a deal breaker for me.
AT&T is so aggressive about their whitelist too. Like whenever they did this, they took the non-VoLTE phones off of their network. Like, so I had an XE1 compact that still works. But the moment I put my SIM card in it, I use Cricket Wireless, which is an AT&T MVNO, and they suspended my account.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I've had that problem too. When I was switching back and forth from Windows phones, I would put my SIM in a Windows phone, and all of a sudden, it wouldn't connect to anything. And so I had to call AT&T and go, "Hey," and they go, "Hey, we noticed that you put it into a non-UEI'd, or whatever IMEI'd account, and so we just suspended the entire account." Yeah, I know. It was now they haven't done that before because here's the thing, which is weird because Gigi sent me an Oppo Find N. Right. And I even got a T-Mobile account, and I even got a Mint Mobile, which is the MVNO of, and I still could not get the scene to work. It was insane. I'm like, what is going on? So I had to send it back to her. I said, "Hey, thanks for sending it over, but I can't get this thing to work." So for Joe, if you're in the UK or in Europe generally, or maybe Canada or anywhere else in Southeast Asia, India, right, China, maybe you can pull this off, but in the United States, it's like unless you have T-Mobile, which not everybody has, you're kind of stuck. I would love to use an Honor. I'd like to use the phones that Joe has, but I know that if I try to put an AT&T SIM in it, it's just not going to work.
What I will say about the Fold 7, it is the biggest refinement they've had since.
Yeah,
it is a lot nicer than previous Folds. Yeah, by Samsung, definitely.
They're feeling the pressure outside of North America.
100%. I mean, well, Honor's marketing was taking the mick out of them. Like, they can't be having that, can they, really?
Yeah, well, it's like, this is why you have to have competition, because the moment that Huawei left the market here, they just stagnated. Like, Samsung immediately stagnated, and LG is not giving them pressure now. And Moto's not necessarily in the same segment except for foldables, and they're just like, whatever, we can gouge people a little bit. That's my personal opinion.
Right. Well, I think they can continue to put out a phone that really is an iterative update. They don't have to push the boundaries. I mean, honestly, I think the Pure X is the coolest foldable flippable that I've ever seen.
I like to look it up. Yeah.
And here's the thing: is all they did was it's the way it really orients, right? If you ever looked at the Pura X, it's just cool. Like, nobody else is doing anything like that. And for a person like me who really likes to see and use things that not everybody's using, I think it's kind of a neat concept. Now
you really are talking about a phone that you can't get in the US,
right? Which, well, not only can you not, Well, then you got a double whammy with the Huawei. So not only does the IMEI not work, and you can't use the phone just to make phone calls, you don't have Google Play services. And here's the thing. I'm willing to let that go just to use the goddamn thing. Like, I'm willing to say, okay, I can't use Google Play services. I don't give a shit. The phone's hardware and software is so incredible. It's like, I swear to God, it's like, I wish American companies or American consumers could see. But the problem is, and I've told you before, and I hate saying this, but it's like the United States is lost to iOS. It's just lost. And here's the thing. Anybody between the ages of 15 and 25, the percentages are so bad for iOS, it's criminal. It's like 80% of those users are using iOS. And in 10 years, if you think from 25 to 35 or 25 to 40, those are your consumers not only buying phones for themselves, but also giving phones and giving devices and access to their children. The U.S. is lost. And that's why OnePlus, BBK, Oppo, Vivo, Xiaomi, Huawei. Also, did you see a little report about Oppo or OnePlus, BBK probably getting some attention, being on the entity list? Wait till OnePlus and BBK gets on the U.S. Commerce entity list. It's over. That's it.
Then prices are just going to skyrocket,
right?
Because we're going to have no competition. You know, when I was in Japan, I saw some Sharp branded phones that were awesome.
Yeah, like the old Aqua phones.
Seen them.
Yeah, like they have the 2-stage shutter button on the Ultras,
right?
Which is great. It was really cool.
I just think really in the United States, I really think it's really just drives me crazy that at the end of the day, it's like really the United States in I'd say 5 to 10 years is going to be pretty much 80 to 90% iOS.
Yeah,
it just will be.
You never know.
iOS is they're just so consumer hostile in every way in terms of like their business practices. Is just like, it's sad to see that because I don't know. I'm like probably like you guys where we like to buy stuff based off of hardware still, and most people don't. I think we're in the minority now.
Yeah. No, and I say that
hardware just quickly. The V5 compared to the Fold has it beat almost everywhere. It's that slightly thinner. It's got better cameras, bigger battery. The only thing that people might argue that Samsung's got is the software potentially, but I like Magic OS myself. But yeah, One UI is obviously more matured, if you like.
Yeah, and there's like certain specific things. Like one thing that's nice about the new Flip, Dex is available for it, which is great for because I have those like AR glasses that like put a screen in front of you. And it's a nightmare to deal with it if you're just mirroring your screen versus having like Dex, which works great. I use that on my Note 20 Ultra all the time because you could use like the screen as a trackpad.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was great. So that's good at least. But
finally,
finally.
And it took the 7th iteration.
Yeah, I hope that they make a clicks case for it.
Yeah, I think they will.
They can't afford. Well, I guess I can't say that because I've never built a product before, but like, I mean, it makes sense to get into it.
Well, Captain, you need to build your own device and your own hardware. I mean, so I guess my question is, before the show we were talking about the clicks, right? And you had mentioned now, it's like what is the draw for you for clicks as far as like. Is it because the Moto flips in half and you get that small, like you get like kind of like, what is it about the clicks case that maybe if it was attached to an iPhone or like a smaller Pixel or whatever, where you may not go, that may not be what I want to do, but clearly you want a physical keyboard. So what's the draw for clicks
for me? Well, it's like, while I do like tall phones, I don't quite like tall phones,
right? Ridiculously outside of up to my touching the back of my head kind of phones. And
also just like, to be honest, the clicks keyboard with the Flip looks just fun. I like the idea of having a little bit smaller phone. You do have to open the thing to take a call unless you're going to be have Bluetooth, but it seems fun, and it kind of makes me think about the old BlackBerry days. And it's nice having a small phone where it can do stuff, and it saves battery on that smaller screen. And
While we're
so,
on this, while we're on Captain, have you seen the Titan 2 by you?
Oh, I was gonna. God damn it, Joe. He beat me to it. Like the Titan 2. Also, too is
I really want that.
they're trying to get certification on AT&T, which means they're actually. I think they might get it, and I've seen that the reviews have kind of been mixed. Right? They really kind of.
I still don't care. I want it,
dude. I think for $300 or $329, it's actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
No oleophobic coating or not, I think it's actually pretty good. Yeah, I know. What do you think about that? Well, you see, like, there's a Kickstarter. I think they're still in the Kickstarter. I know the early ones, and there's like a mid-level. I think it's like a $249. I think those are gone. I think last time I checked, which was last week, they had the $279 level. Available.
I'm looking at it right now on the Kickstarter. I
don't know if they the 279 are available still, but I just noticed that they were talking specifically, and that's the problem with Unihertz for me was the AT&T certs, right? They didn't have it, but they're specifically saying, hey, we are going to get certification on AT&T's network for this Titan 2. I'm like, okay, then I might be in on that. For $300, it's even if it's not a perfect phone, but man, it's pretty fucking cool.
I will say, I think that it was kind of a miss to have the screen on the back be basically a smartwatch thing. Like, just have it, like, definitely have it for the camera, but find some other use for it that's not a freaking smartwatch. Because it's just like, it's clear that you just bolted that and you're just like, we're not going to put the development in it. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of, because there are other uses that you could use for that on the back. Right. Like if you have it down your like notifications or something, you know, better than what Nothing is doing with their little tiny.
That's
which I don't hate that design. I just wish that they had kept the glyphs because
why not?
Why not? And
they could have been smaller and they could have been less pronounced, but I think they should have kept some glyph element. I feel.
Yep. So we'll see.
That was their identity for me. Like that's what really separated them.
That makes me worried actually about it because if they got rid of the glyphs on that one, they're kind of like, are they not sure of what they want their brand identity to be now? Because they
want it to be small LED screens,
and it's like fine, but make it bigger so you could do something. But like, like
you can play rock paper scissors with it,
right?
We could do that.
It's and it's like it's interesting that you can frame yourself in the photo, but it's still not perfect. But
no,
I don't know. If you're not going to do the glyphs, then go like e-paper on the back, like the Yola phones back in the day.
Oh, yeah,
or something like that. I don't know.
Ted's got the new Yola phone. Ted Salmon.
Wait, I thought they went out of business.
No, they're still going. I think.
Damn.
Really? Yeah, have a look it up. I'm sure he's got the newest one. I thought yeah, maybe it's something else actually. Maybe
I'm just saying.
I might be wrong.
It's kind of nice to see like that Unihertz is trying to do some kind of like a BlackBerry adjacent style phone, right? For folks that don't want to have a clicked keyboard, but really just kind of want, like for me, like I would love to have a Unihertz Titan 2. Like I'm still considering jumping on the Kickstarter just because it looks like a lot of fun. I will tell you though, man, I've had a kind of an epiphany in the last, I don't know, a couple of weeks. So I'm thinking about, okay, I have this, right? I've got my 9 Pro XL. And so, okay, could I trade that in and upgrade early to a Fold 7? I could. Okay, fine.
I think you'll like it, Sam.
I think I would too because I really love the Fold 5. I really want a foldable. However, I keep coming back to now playing Live Transcribe. Right? I keep coming back to
this,
all
Sam?
these.
How about
also,
this?
I will.
Why don't you wait and see what the next Pixel Fold is saying?
Right, I know the 10 fold, but the problem is I have almost. Here's the thing I know about AT&T. I know they carry the original Pixel Fold, well, whatever it's going 10 fold or whatever. Right, they carry the original Pixel OG, right, the OG Fold, but then they didn't carry the 9 Pro Fold XL, right? They didn't carry that 9 Pro Fold,
which is strange.
Normally AT&T once well for AT&T not really, but I've noticed the thing I noticed is they kind of are hit and miss on and they kind of like obviously weird phone. Like obviously all the Samsungs, all the folds, all the flips, all the iPhones, cool. Once they kind of decide that they're not going to support the fold, like they're not going to have the 9 Pro Fold as an upgradable phone, that they're done. So I don't think the 10, whatever 10 version they name it, I don't think it's coming to AT&T. And so that means I have two choices. Either one, buy an OG Pixel Fold used for like $530, $550 in that neighborhood, or I'm now, or you think that's bad, get into the 9 Pro Fold. Now you're talking $890 to like $1,000. And
I reckon you'll get one cheaper than that once the new one comes out, though. Surely,
possibly. But here's the thing.
I think.
Okay, well maybe it's not $1,000. Okay, cheaper at what, $600 or $750?
Because Jimmy loves his fold.
Dude, I'm just saying what really is keeping me is it's the software. It's crazy good. It's like, and also here's the thing for me is I don't know if you've used the Pixel, obviously. It's the call screening. Like here's what happens: I will start getting a phone call. I'll have a banner come up that says Google Pixel screening this possible scam call, right? And it does whatever it thinks it needs to do, and then I never see it again. I know if I had any other phone, my phone would have rang. It would have been an active phone call that I would have had to either. And everyone's like, well, you could just swipe. I could have. But the fact that Google decided to think it's not obviously spam, it's probably mostly spam. Let me find out for you. I'll answer the call for you. See what it's like it comes up with right? It has Chinese or it's clearly a scam. And Google says, yeah, we took the call. We weren't sure. And we never gave it to you. We just dumped the call and we figured for the fact that it does that is so, especially in the US. I don't know about in the UK. Maybe they don't have such a spam call problem. In the US, it is utterly crippling. I've had people
not as bad, perhaps.
Right. And here's the thing. I've had people in the United States who have said that literally they are getting 2 and 3 and 5 spam calls daily. Every day, all day long. And I'm like, and those people have like Motos and they have like Samsungs and they have like Pixels and they have iPhones or whatever. And I'm like, dude, just get a Pixel. And it's absolutely, I want to switch off the Pixel and get a foldable. They don't have a flip, obviously. And here's the thing, heads up, Google, make a 10 flip and you'll probably sell billions of them. Because you'll get into that market where you can get cheaper than Samsung and better than Moto, and now you're in the flip market. And you can cut out iOS. Anyway, the software on a Pixel is so compelling. It's really hard for me. I'm really kind of. This is the first time I'm like, I don't know if I could get the Fold 7, which is a fantastic device, but am I going to lose all the Pixel stuff? Like, I don't really know if I want to do that. Really, the software is almost for the first time. Software since the Windows Phone days is keeping me to Pixel, which is weird.
What you need to do, Sam, is write up the things that you're going to lose from Pixel. But you need to think about the things you might gain from One UI that you potentially like. Because there is some good stuff there as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then weigh it up. Way up. Right. I think you'll like the Fold 7. Honestly.
I love the Fold 5. It was great. I loved having that phone for almost a year. It was fantastic.
The other thing you need to think about, too, is how the soft screens tend to die, because they die differently depending on the manufacturer. Like with Samsung, it's the screen protector starts pulling up and it damages the display, or it might die. But Motos just tend to just die and they'll get the line in it because the digitizer gets it. And I'm not sure how it manifests on the Pixel side of things, but that's another thing to keep in mind too.
Well, I know that I've talked to people who've had the OG Pixel Fold that had a lot of hardware failures, right? The lamination. I will tell you that any foldable or flippable, I had the Moto Razors, right? Older ones. I had the Fold 5. I never had any problem with those. So luckily I've seemed to kind of duck those. I guess what it comes down to is I agree with Joe. I need to find out. I really wish I could get a Fold 7. Because I hear everybody's talking about the actual physical thinness and hardware. It's amazing.
I've got to say, it is a beautiful piece of hardware.
So have you had a chance to actually go hands-on with the device?
Of course, we've got them loads. We've got them on display. One of my colleagues has got one. She's a Samsung Elite in my store.
Right.
So yeah.
So are you concerned about the no S Pen? The fact that they're going to go the new upgraded battery and the 4400 milliamp. Are you?
I'm not concerned about these things because I think the battery life's probably going to be decent enough.
Right.
Pen support is nice to have. I think they should have kept it, but it's a nice to have. It's not a deal breaker for me.
Right.
But I am more tempted by the V5. So you
Well,
can't get that. So
I don't understand why Samsung is basically backtracking on their progress with the S Pen because like it pissed me off that their latest normal flagship got rid of the Bluetooth with it because I on my Note 20 Ultra I used the shutter all the time because I do astrophotography or selfies with it. And it's just they're using excuses of only X% amount of people use it just to pad their margins.
Especially when they're productivity of devices like both the Ultra and
this one has a bigger screen. Wouldn't you want a stylus for it?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a big miss. It is not a deal breaker, but it's a big miss. I think.
And they have the gall to increase the price. I get it. The form factor's changed, but like they're increasing the price and removing physical features.
Well,
but the screen is 28% thicker. I don't know what that means for durability, but
that's what she said. It's 20%.
Well, yeah.
Thick. Right. Well, here's the thing. It's like, well, you have to take two things into perspective, right? Is Samsung's own internal? They said that people don't really use the S Pen, and I'll tell you, from what I've seen, like anecdotally on like Reddits and stuff, people don't use the S Pen. They just don't. And so
there are specific use cases it's really, really handy for.
Oh, it's fantastic, but I'm saying in the aggregate overall, the Samsung is you have to basically, in order for them to dump the S Pen, and they said, hey, we have done metrics. Obviously, they can do that because it's their hardware and their software suite, right? That people don't. And here's the thing that makes it tell you that if they know for sure, that means they know when when the S Pen is deployed out of the silo, right? Because remember, when you do that, it kicks off the suite, right? So Samsung knows when it's being used, when it's being touched. If you've deployed it, are you using it as a shutter? Are you using it on the screen? They know. And for years and years and years, they've been tracking this metrics, and they're thinking, hey, most people don't use this goddamn thing, right? And to the point where they're talking about the S26 Ultra actually ditching the S Pen altogether and saying, we don't even care because most people aren't using it.
Well,
so go
on.
Oh, it's like the problem for me with that though is if they want to remove features, fine. Don't increase your price substantially when you're removing features. That's my problem. Is like even if they kept it the same, it'd be better than increasing where you're basically just and like with their batteries, they're not doing the silicon carbide. Like they're just I think there are two reasons why they do it. That reason, but also margins too. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think
margins and the Fold 8 will have it. That's how they sell Fold 8s.
Right. Yeah.
I think. Well, I will tell you. It seems like when it comes to battery, anything battery related with Samsung, the Note 7 did so much damage to them. They are like literally. And here's the thing: Joe does. I don't know if this is a proper cricket. So in baseball, there's a concept where a pitcher throws to a batter and he hits him. Right, he gets hit by the pitch. Right, and so when the batter goes up, he's like, for the first couple of times, he's like, I'm afraid of getting hit by this 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Like I'm going to go up there and be scared of being in the box and trying to make a hit. Right. So I think Samsung is still reeling from the Note 7 debacle and then also the swollen batteries. They really seem to be super sensitive to battery innovation, battery tech, charging speeds. Like Samsung could get to OnePlus and Oppo and Honor, like charging speeds. But man, they are so battery. I would call it not even battery focused, but battery scared. Like they do
like
anything that involves
battery phobic,
like anything like charging speed, capacity, different tech. They're just like, what happens if we go to this different battery tech and then all of a sudden the batteries don't perform or they swell, they get weird or whatever. If they have one report, they're like, well, shit, that's out. That I like. that's where I think Samsung is really, that and their camera hardware have really kind of just like, hey, we know this works. The battery works. The charging speeds work. The camera hardware works. We may tweak and kind of fuck with it a little bit, but we're not going to go
called safe bets.
Yeah.
Well,
because they can do safe bets if they don't have that much competition.
Yeah,
they seem to be super risk averse when it comes to battery and camera hardware. They really, everything else software wise, they push the envelope, right? And here's the thing: I'm not saying this to defend Samsung. I'm just saying that remember, Samsung isn't only phones. Like they don't really care about that. They have displays. They have,
missiles.
Right. Well, they have, Samsung is a conglomerate, like LG was, right? LG said, you know what, phones just aren't, fuck it, we're done, right? But Samsung's they're in the appliances. And by the way, Samsung appliances, I've had a Samsung refrigerator. It was not very good. And anyway, that's fine. But I think Samsung if they were only into, like, nothing is only about phones, right? And like maybe earbuds and headphones, and right, they're clearly a more of that kind of company. Nothing's not making refrigerators and washer and dryers and displays and TVs.
Yeah.
Right? They aren't doing that kind of stuff. So because they can be super kind of focused, they can really go all in on. And honestly, I'm sure those Nothing headphones look great. Sound great. They look like total shit. I love Carl Pei. No offense, dude. They look fugly. There's no way I'm buying those.
I need to see them in person, I think.
I just from Greg. But with Samsung and LG, right? Remember, and like even Huawei, like even Xiaomi, right? They've got cars and all sorts of other consumer technology stuff. You would think that they would be able to kind of like maybe expand and kind of get a little bit creative with their mobile division, because they can absorb it in case it goes a little sideways. Okay, it blows up. We didn't like it. It didn't work. But we've got all these other we're in these other pots, right? But it's like Samsung is like, when it comes to their mobile division, they're super conservative when it comes to really trying new shit, especially around battery and camera.
Well, and
that's really what's driving the innovation of mobile technology for the next couple of years, right? So,
well, and with the whole Note 7 thing, it exposed the fact that Samsung, because I've read Samsung Rising, and it's like it was released not long after the Note 7 debacle, that book.
Okay.
And their corporate structure is not that dissimilar to the North Korean government structure. Basically, people don't want to deliver bad news up.
Right, up channels, because you want to tell their boss, hey, this sucks. And
right. Well, and also when one of their CEOs went to prison, people were tripping over themselves to go to prison for him. Yeah. Weird. So there's a weird corporate culture too that's playing into it.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, I think that's why. And unfortunately, so we have Joe on the show, and he's in the UK, so he has no. Unfortunately for Americans, we like to see everything inside the lens of what's available to us in the US, right? But we don't have a tendency to kind of expand their horizon and go, when you have people like Joe, it's like, okay, you have, like, I try to be a motivator. It's not available in the US. He has access to Honor and Oppo and Vivo, right? We don't have that in the US. And I'm wondering, it's because have Chinese companies, and have they kind of seeded the low ground? Like, hey, it's pretty much the US is an iOS world and we're out. And so we don't care. Because remember, OnePlus tried to do the T-Mobile, right? They try to push carriers, and that went nowhere. Like zero engagement. Like, look at Xiaomi in the United States. I have never seen anybody other than me, like in just walking around, using a Xiaomi device in the US in the last 3 years. Zero people.
Yep. Yep. Or if it's people from internationally visiting here and they're just still using their phone.
So, Joe, you saw the thing about OnePlus possibly being, like, the administration looking at possibly putting on the entity list, right? What do you think? I mean, here's the thing. This is kind of a two-part question, right? Because you're not an American. You're really not involved in American politics and how this administration kind of gets down, right? You're used to, frankly, it's like, okay, right? But not tariffs, but now you have another Chinese company, OnePlus, which is just kind of split from BBK, now maybe catching attention from the administration about being on the entity list. So here's another Chinese brand getting a lot of attention. I don't know.
It's really sad for the market as a whole, though, for me.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because it's hugely damaging to OnePlus. And I like what OnePlus have been doing. So, it's really, really sad.
I would, when the Huawei ban first happened, I was just thinking, if they're going to do this, why haven't they done all these other brands that are basically very similar? And I think at the time it was like the network infrastructure part was the big one with Huawei, but it's going to be bad for the market, and personally, I think, but also I don't like it because it's like picking winners in a market when there should be competition.
Yeah,
and that's not how the market should work.
No.
So, yeah.
Well,
I mean, Samsung will like it.
Oh yeah, ZTE2.
Right, and so I think that's the reason. I think here's the disconnection. So ZTE and Huawei were doing 5G infrastructure inside the US, right? And remember,
in the UK as well.
Right. And Huawei and ZTE were targets. However, OnePlus and BBK weren't doing that, so they kind of fell under the radar. And they're like, wait, OnePlus? Okay, is that a Chinese company? It is. They're from China. Okay, fuck them. Let's get them. Like I think it's because of I think the reason why a lot of people kind of like focus on ZTE and Huawei is because they were doing infrastructure, 5G components, whereas everybody else wasn't. So they're kind of like outside of that. And they're like, wait a minute. So Oppo and Vivo and Realme and Xiaomi and these companies are all Chinese too. Well, clearly, if they're Chinese, then they're clearly reporting to CCP. So it's just they didn't catch it on the front end. And somebody told me, hey, Donald, do you realize that OnePlus is a Chinese company? They're like, what? China? Forget it. Let's get them too. Right? I think it's because of that they kind of like, it's been a lag. And so I guess I really am afraid as an American that we're going to be down to basically Pixel and Samsung and iOS. And that's really Moto. Well, not really. Well, here's the thing. Who's Lenovo's parent or Motorola's parent company?
Lenovo.
Right. Yeah. And they are what?
They're not Chinese. Are they Chinese?
Yeah. Right. And Motorola, it's funny, like 20 years ago, Motorola was an American company.
Well, that's why I don't think they're going to ban them, because I think because the optics will look bad.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. But like I said, we're in this. It just really sucks because Samsung really has they realize that really we have a situation where we can be the Android, essentially the Android OEM of the US. Right. We may be like at the 30% mark because of 70-30, like Android, iOS, but everybody knows Samsung. And when you see, and you can ask Andrew, when you see anybody who has a non-iOS device, what do they usually have? Samsung device, right? You see a few pixels here, maybe a Moto
in the UK,
right? Much. Every once in a while you'll see a Moto, but really, if it's Android, it's Samsung. It's an S25, a S25 Plus, an Edge. Actually,
do you see a lot of A range in the US?
No.
I have actually, but a lot of that's like people visiting. A lot of people, it's like younger people. I saw one today actually at the museum.
Really?
It's the 3 camera, and then you have the little side, just the 3 smaller cameras, and then the little side flash. I can usually tell by the camera. The only way you can tell these days is like if they have a case, is the camera module.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah,
they all look quite similar, so it's very difficult. So
right. So, and Michael Pepperjack says Samsung A series mostly. Okay, so I haven't. Now here's the thing: I haven't seen many A series where I'm at, but it's not because like I said, I've never seen a OnePlus, a Xiaomi, like a Vivo, a Realme. It sucks. I mean, it's like for Joe. So that's the problem me and Joe have is I would love to try an Honor here in the United States. I think that you're right because Honor is essentially the spiritual successor to Huawei.
Yeah.
Right. I would love to try it, but it seems like in the United States, not only do you have an administration who really doesn't want to have Chinese phones, but then you have iOS that's really, honestly, I don't know about Android, so we'll talk about it real quick. How many times do you see anybody walk up and has an iOS device? It's at least most of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking most of the time is 60 to 80%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And talk to anybody who's in the younger group, like the people who are teenagers, right? Who are coming to when on top of that, and then you have green bubble shame, right? Then you have you have an Android device. Oh, you're a poor person, right? Like, right? No, you laugh, but it's legitimate. There's not only
if you've got a Fold 7, you're not a poor person.
If someone said that to me, I'm like, okay, well. Thanks for filtering yourself out of my life for me.
Yeah. Right. You made that easy for me.
Right. Well, like I said, but here's the problem is but on the flip side, there is no social kind of gatekeeping or kind of like, you don't hear that, right? Android people go, I could use an iOS device, like I have one for work, or I could use it.
Not all Android users.
I
tried using one, I didn't like it.
Right, I don't either, but the problem is
yeah, I didn't have it.
I have to because of work, right? So, but what I'm saying though is it's not right. I've been
playing around with an old 10, so
yeah, and it's not ubiquitous, but in the United States, it's really just comes down to. I think we're kind of getting to the point where we're kind of fighting a losing battle, right? In Android space, you really you might have occasionally a person who has an Android like a Samsung or maybe a Pixel, maybe a Moto, right? But at the end of the day, it's like I don't think you're going to. I think the US is a loss to iOS.
I guess it depends on how Samsung and Pixel, how much more market share they can pull. Mm-hmm. It's like right now iOS is definitely dominant and they have the momentum. I guess it just depends on if Android consolidates.
I think this is why you find that Samsung and Google do work together a lot more now, because they know they need to try and take that market share. They need to help each other. They have to.
Yep.
Well, I weren't in the US, but do they feel the same way in the UK and Europe?
No, because Apple is still massive, but they've got bigger market shares, especially Samsung. But then they've got more competition in the Android space, though. So I don't know if they have got more market share. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. Their A range, though, from Samsung is mad. It's mad at how much of the market share is actually A range. Sam, when you look into that, it's mad, and that's what's crazy. The A range has got better, to be fair, but the older A range devices were pretty pants, right? And that would be people's view of Android, which is what drove people to iOS at a certain generation, I think.
I guess my question is, as everybody on the panel who's using really high-end Android phones, you guys know better. Would you ever use an A-range Samsung device?
I actually pulled up one because I was like, I don't even know what models they are, like what they've got right now. I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be terrible.
The 56 ain't bad. I don't know if I would want to go too much lower.
Here's the thing. If I'm looking for an A series device from Samsung, I'm going Moto.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a motivator now, Sam. So,
right. I'm not. Hey, Wilkin. Hey, help a brother out. Get that program in the United States.
Although I've not been sent a device yet.
I don't even care if I'm sent a device. I don't give a shit. I will tell you that if it's up to me and I'm in the mid-range space, like I would use. Here's the thing. Here's what Samsung doesn't understand. let's say you pull the S Pen from every phone, right? S26, like going forward, no phone supports an S Pen. I'll tell you what now, I will go buy a Moto G Stylus 2025 and like that. And I will use that because it's incredible. You need to have a stylus for some people who want to use a stylus, whether it's selecting, whether it's writing, whether it's notes. And the fact that they brought it down from a Bluetooth stylus to a dead stylus, right? Now you're right on par with it with a Moto stylus at $399 or $299. Yeah.
Do you know what the best use case for it is? I bought some coffees for the team earlier, and I just wrote down the order on my Ultra. I mean, I could have typed it, but it's just so nice to write it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gosh, is the Moto stylus have any sort of Bluetooth functionality?
No. And they've never had. But here's the thing: the current S25 Ultra doesn't have Bluetooth either. So now you're on the same level. You have an S25 Ultra at what, $1,200?
Yeah,
and now you have the Moto G Stylus 25 at $400.
It's not as simplistic as that. I mean, the chipsets.
Yeah,
higher end, and the cameras are more higher end, and
like one thing also I'm reading too is at least on the newest one, battery life is not super great, and the zoom stuff isn't as good. Like the image quality isn't quite as good
on the Ultra.
No, on the Moto G Stylus 2025.
Yeah, I've never tried the stylus from Moto.
Dude, I had a 24 stylus, and I unfortunately dropped it, and because the frame is plastic, it cracked the corner. So it kind of. But here's the thing. You know what? I was like, you know what? I'm out $300. I'm at $250.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Now, did I want to break my Moto G Stylus? No, I like the phone. But here's the thing. It's like, are you okay with using it? I never put a case on that phone. Ever. But when I broke it, I'm like, God damn it, it sucks. But here's the thing: I will go and buy a Moto G Stylus 25, and that's a killer phone.
Okay,
it's a killer device, especially with the price point. Because here's the thing: you know me, I have made the comment about well, the Duo 2 was like, if it was like $500, I'd buy one. No, you wouldn't, because you wouldn't use the goddamn thing. Here's the thing. If you're going to spend money on a phone or not spend money on a phone, the price point isn't the point. It's I'm spending money on this phone. Does the form factor and what I'm doing as far as my workflow work for me? If it doesn't, I'm not buying that phone. We get so hung up on a price point. Like everybody's like, oh, the Nothing Phone 3, it's $799. I'm not buying it because I can get a better phone for just $499. Are you using a $499 phone? Oh, no, I have a S25 Ultra or a Xiaomi, whatever. Okay, you're not even using the fucking phone. We're not in that situation where we're not actually trying to. Again, I think it's okay that they have moved the price up to $19.99. They should have a Fold FE, right? A Fan Edition Fold, right? That's $12.99. Here's the problem: is when you get rid of the S Pen on the general, you don't have any kind of play. You spend $19.99, get S Pen support. $12.99, you have S Pen support, but you don't care anyway, right?
Well, and it's like what they should be doing with the Fold FE is use the old chassis that they have.
Right. How do you guys feel about the Exynos processor? I'm not sure I'm feeling that. And here's the thing. Joe, you've used Exynos, right, in other phones?
Yeah.
How's that been for you?
Right. No, actually, I haven't. That's a lie because I wouldn't touch Samsung when they had Exynos.
Right.
So
that should tell you right there.
And do you know what? It's a money-saving exercise, isn't it? Of course. Will flip customers care? Probably not. Which is why they know they can get away with it. Because when I say about chipset to customers, they don't just go over their head. So can I go on YouTube? Yes, you can go on YouTube. Can I play this basic game. Yeah, you can play that basic game. You can play that basic game on a 6 series Snapdragon chipset. Don't worry. Like,
Man.
I think we overtalk chipsets, really, if I'm honest. As much as I think, like from our point of view, yeah, they shouldn't charge that money for Exynos. Like, it will work fine.
Well, and it's also like for me, mostly what I'm thinking about when it comes to CPU like chipset performance, I'm mainly thinking of heat, basically, like heat performance. That's the thing I really care about, because that and RAM. But like the heat performance will, like, if your phone is just throttling, it affects everything.
In a small flip, that's gonna be crucial.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I would agree. And yeah, so
Dan's had hands on with the Razer 60 Ultra, and he said the 8 Elite in that's been great.
He really likes it.
Yeah, he loves it. But he said the 8 Elite's been fantastic in that, so no concerns with heating on the 8 Elite in the Ultra. And I know that's pricey, but that is a sexy phone. I can't wait to get hands on with that.
I guess my question is Exynos kind of like is it a bad word in the chipset space?
I think in the tech community, yeah.
Yeah. It's like even MediaTek has gotten a better reputation over the last few years.
Yeah. They're very efficient, I'm hearing now. So
yeah, like I would live with a MediaTek chipset nowadays.
The flagship ones.
Yeah. But yeah, because it's like if it works, and honestly, like as much as I'm doing, the most processor intensive stuff that I'm doing is probably with my camera. And other than that, like efficiency, that's what I want.
Shall I tell you one thing that's good about Exynos continuing and MediaTek getting better? We know we spoke about competition, right? It's good because Snapdragon. I mean, if they have a monopoly, it's no good, is it? It's good that Snapdragon have competition. Gets the best out of Snapdragon.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And even MediaTek, like,
yeah,
I think for them it's been a similar thing where they just desperately were feeling the competition because all their chipsets were in crap like blue phones and other things, you know.
They had more chipsets in speakers than they did phones at one point, probably.
Yeah.
They've had to up their game for sure. Competition is good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how this generation of new foldables go, because my next phone will probably end up being a foldable. So.
Cool.
Interesting. So is it because
of you, Sam?
Well, no, I am. It's not because of me, but I'm curious when you say that it's going to be the foldable. Like you have Joe who's like, I've tried foldables, I had this and it didn't.
I liked the V3 a lot.
But you're not using a V3
because I can switch up, mate. If I didn't have switch up, I'd have lived with the V3. I loved it, really loved it.
So my question to Andrew is, why foldables? Where do you see that those have value for you and your workflow?
I guess for me, it's less about one, they're fun, but two, it's like I for a long time I was like, oh, I'd love to do a fold thing, but the more like I've been thinking about it, like I kind of like to have something that's half the size of this in my pocket, and I like the idea of having like the efficient screen on the front where I can run anything on it and just sit battery, and just it's more form factor and novelty. I think that's the most first world like problem ever, reason ever, but you know, I think those are the main things for me is glass slabs are boring now, and I like the idea of maybe having, because I like small phones too. Like I had an XE1 compact, but like having it in, I don't know, just there's something about just not having a giant chunk and making it look like I have a tumor in my thigh in my pocket, or I can fit it in my vest pocket.
Right.
So,
big shout out to Jimmy with the super chat there, mate. Thank you very much. We really should set up a PayPal or something, PayPal me, because that money does at the moment go to to Lenny because we don't own this channel. But I'll reach out to Lenny and see if he can send some dollars to Sam.
And worst case scenario, we need it's like a coffee or whatever. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we don't expect that, to be honest. But if we do, maybe we should start a PayPal me to Sam.
Right, or to Joe. It's all good. Like I said,
you pay for the predominantly. I haven't paid you any money for quite a bit of time as well, actually. So yeah, it should go to you, mate.
That's okay. Like, so
where's my money? Where's my money, bitch? Where's my money? Yeah,
it's all good. You know what? Here's the thing. It gives me a vehicle for talking to Joe every week, and having you come on and having guests come on. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like we have always tried to make sure that me and Joe do this show. So it's really just for, at least for me, I can't speak to Joe because I don't know how his wife feels about him talking about tech all the time. Maybe she's like my wife. She's like, look, find a human being who talks about this shit because I don't care anymore. Right. And so here's the thing. And I noticed something recently, and I was going to ask you, Andrew, how you feel about this because I know you follow a whole bunch of creators. I've noticed that a lot of them have either decided to dip, stop podcasting, stop creating content, or whatever. And Paul O'Brien. Dude, the Switch
OLED for 185 quid. That's tempting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. But I noticed something and here's what I want to talk about. And we're at 1 hour 10 minutes. But you know what? I have a chance to talk to Andrew, so I'm gonna push this. I'm gonna push this another 20 minutes. So I've noticed, and I don't know if you guys have both noticed this too, but people who we really follow have kind of decided to either not continue the podcast, not continue streaming, or whatever because of whatever reason, right? This is no comment on their engagement or how they want to do things, but Joe and I we're at like how about 115-ish episodes we've been doing this for like 2 or 3 or 4 years, right? And so we're not professional at all. So you would think that if anybody would have dipped and like, hey, this isn't working, we don't want to do this anymore, we're kind of burned out, right? It would be me and Joe. And yet it seems like it's all these other really serious people who really have kind of said, hey, content creation is not there. We don't want to talk about phones. And we're kind of burned out of it. So, like, have you noticed, like, as far as the content creators for tech, right? You've got the Marquezes, and you got the Snubs, and you got the Isas and those folks, right, who are really, really good. How do you think that the tech landscape has changed in the last like 24 months? And what is your opinion of the next 2 or 3 years as far as podcasters, creators, and YouTubers, right? Do you see it? I see it seems like everybody's burning out of it, or a lot of people are burning out of it.
Well, I think part of it is also like with tech creators, especially mobile tech, where that was like their bread and butter. It's so we've reached the place now where laptops were, where there's not like we've plateaued for such a long time now that it's harder to make. It's legitimately probably harder for them to make videos of it. Like good God, like Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, the S24 Ultra. Well, what? How much can you fill a 20-minute video with?
I think a huge factor in it for me is how people consume content now. Their attention spans are so small. That's why TikTok has blown up, and actually YouTube has their shorts market has grown loads. Their viewership, I mean, on
partially because they just shove it in your face in the app.
Well, that as well, because they know that's how people consume content now. Like,
and I don't like short form video really at all because I have ADHD brain and it's bad for my brain. And so
2 hours are lost on short form video.
Yes. And it's like I'd rather have on a documentary on YouTube or something that's like 20 minutes or longer.
Like damn them stupid AI Gorilla Yeti videos, man. I end up watching loads of them. And it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, that and it's like for me it's the oh god, for the dodo, like the animal dog, stuff. But in any case, it's just like I just prefer long form content, and maybe I'm just an old man.
I think it is like, so when I spoke to Honor, for example, they said to me, ideally make my shorts 1 minute long, no longer. And any long form, they said ideally make it maximum 5 minutes. That's what that's because that's how the market is now. That's partly driven by the Chinese market as well. Even though no one from China watches my channel, but hey ho. What's your thoughts, Sam? Like,
yeah, sponsored content's a big thing too, because tech YouTubers have now content creators are now just an unofficial extension of the marketing team of these companies now. A lot of times, that's a big one too.
This is what we spoke about on MeWe the other day, Sam. Like, I pay for YouTube Premium,
right?
But the next video I watch, this one is sponsored by Squarespace. Like, I like photography videos
or Surfshark or whatever, right?
Because the ad space because you pay more to have the person put the ad actually in the video, because then it never changes. It's in that video permanently.
Yeah, so I can't avoid that. So I avoid the YouTube advertisement, but I can't avoid the content creators. I guess I can fast forward past it, which is what I do. But that's frustrating.
Right. It is funny though on desktop where you see like the graph of like most viewed parts, and a lot of it's like the end of the ad is like the highest part, but I mean other content creators have like been pivoting too, like Mr. Mobile did the startup with clicks, because it kind of was like, I've noticed that he's been doing like he does his videos, but like there's been gaps, and I mean, it's diversification. A lot of these people are probably just diversifying too. So,
and on that note, this is sponsored by extremeskins.co. You're gonna joking.
Hashtag skin your shit.
Right. So I think what has coming down, I think what's happening is so people who are the high end content creator, the David Cogans, the all those people like the Marquez Brownlees, I think they have had to, like any other business, they've had to diversify into what they're doing, right? He's talking about a podcast, he's doing this other thing and all this kind of stuff. But my question is if you're going to a Marquez Brownlee, like talking about a phone, a nothing phone 3, whatever, fill in the gap, are you really making your purchasing decision from what he's saying, as opposed to maybe somebody like the Shane Craigs and the the Adams of the world, who are like 50 to 200,000 K? Really, is that where? Because if you're at 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 million, are you really doing? The only person I would say
got two answers for this, Sam. Me personally, no, but a lot of his viewership, probably yes.
No, I don't believe that. I think a lot of people watch Marquez are now into, I know what I'm going to buy next. I'm really just interested in what he has to say, because now he's the de facto king of the hill. I think by the time you watch a Marquez like a YouTube video, you already know what you're going to buy. You're really just looking for either confirmation bias, or if Marquez says the phone you want to buy sucks, he'd be like, Marquez doesn't know anything. Okay, you're in that.
Sam,
right?
I think we're too much in the tech community, if you know what I mean. Because non-techie people, when you ask them about tech YouTubers, they couldn't reel off on one hand.
Oh yeah, they don't know any of these people are who they are. Like they don't.
Right.
Like if you're a regular user going to buy an iPhone, you're looking at reviews on the next iPhone just because you're going to the store and the person's telling you, hey, you have a 13, a 14, or whatever, you need to upgrade, and it's your upgrade cycle. You've had an iPhone for 3 years. The 17's come out. It's got all the features, right? It's call screens. It does all the things. You should buy the things. And they're like, oh, call screening. Yeah, great.
I tell you why general people are making buying decisions based off Marcus Brownlee. It's because they'll do a Google search potentially, because they don't know. They have to just put iPhone whatever or Samsung whatever. And the one that's got most views and is shoved in their face will be Marcus Brownlee's video.
Yep.
They will watch that and make that buying decision.
Right.
Because they won't watch 5-6 videos, most of these people either.
I think the Shane Craigs, the Adams, and our Tuxbert, right? He's like kind of in that like middle space, right? He's over 1 million subscribers. I still think Spurt does a great job of actually telling people what the phone actually does, and
Chris is great,
which is I think is fantastic.
And he's a potty mouth. I love it.
And the fact that apparently a quasi-alcoholic too, which is incredible. So anyway, so what he's doing is great, but like I said, I think as we've kind of gotten to a maturity in the tech YouTube space, we have the people at the top who are just going to create content, and that's fine. And then you've got people like us that aren't really YouTube creators. We're really more podcasters that do this kind of thing.
I'm trying.
Right. And then you've got, well, and you do a good job, but realize that you're really you're trying to run up a hill with 2 broken legs. Right.
Yeah.
And it's not because, and here's the problem. It's not because of your ability or talent or anything else. It's because it's completely saturated with human beings. There's no reason you're going to, unless you do something that's creative and completely insane outside of that space, it's really hard to kind of run up that same treadmill because that treadmill has been run up by a bunch of other people.
Well, Twitch has similar problems too.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, it's not platform. It's not platform specific. We're talking about Twitch. We're talking about anything else, right? Slack, doesn't matter.
What I will say though, Sam, is I'm not trying to climb that hill because I don't care about my growth really. I mean, I moan sometimes about my views, but ultimately I don't really care. I'm just making it because I enjoy doing it. Right. And like,
which is what we do with this podcast. Here's the thing.
That's it.
There's very few podcasts, if you look out there, who have hundreds, like over 100 shows and continue to do it. And some of the people like Adam Dowd, which is one of my favorite human beings. Like, I love Adam. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's cool.
I think he's really, really. He and they did the benefit of the doubt. I don't think they're doing that podcast anymore just because he's writing right. And it's like, but again, probably part of the reason why we do this because this is all we have. This is at least as far as me. Now, Joe has an actual YouTube channel where he's actually reviewing phones, right? So maybe he's doing other stuff. Me, all I do on the internet and YouTube is this podcast.
When you said this is all I have,
I have nothing else. I have all of this.
This is all I have. Don't take it from me. No.
Right, and that's for me. Now Joe's trying to develop his own show, which is great. And then here's the thing: Screen On Time, YT. Go check it out. Do some follows, all that. I'm not trying to review, and people have asked me, you should review phones. I go, I don't want to review phones because there's a billion people out there doing it, and I don't do anything that's dynamic or anything.
I never said you should review phones. I said you should make content. Now, I think yours should be very much like Tech Odyssey. I think you should just talk to a camera about your views on the phone.
I should probably do something like that, but like I said, it's one of those things where everybody has their. Yeah, I think so too. But like to Joe's point is you should make the content based on what you want to do and what you want to try to do and educate and inform your audience and kind of show them the things. I think that's really what it comes down to. As far as everything else, I think we're going to have a bunch of people who just are like, you're chasing a dream that's not attainable or not attainable. And you're just going to drive yourself crazy. And you've seen a bunch of people go, hey, my channel's not growing. I'm not doing this kind of thing. Blah, 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 so I'm going to dip. Again, you should do that. If you're not feeling it, dip. But I like podcasting.
Don't listen to Sam. If you just carry on doing it, don't give up.
Do whatever you want to do. Like if you want to sit here and come out and create content, go for it. Because I think everybody should have a space to create. And maybe you find something that isn't being served. And it just clicks, right? And just like all of a sudden you wake up, all of a sudden you're like, "Holy shit!" I like the fact.
If it ever feels like a job, but you're not getting a job,
quit
money from it. Stop.
Yeah, and I've actually had a podcast with John Rettinger. I personally like John, but yeah, it's one of those things where I think when you get to his level right? We're talking about the Aarons. We're talking about the Marquezes. We're talking about the Snubs. We're talking about those Justines. We're talking about seriously accomplished, dedicated,
People making
upper
good
echelon.
living.
Well, here's the thing. Justine can walk into a room and everybody immediately knows who she is. Like, you don't have to do anything. Marquez, John Rettinger,
Justine's actually really quite a nice lady, actually.
she seems like a super, and her sister, like it seems like they're very nice.
They are both really nice ladies.
But we have to disconnect these two because remember, you can be a really good person and suck as a creator, or you could be a garbage human being and be a kick-ass creator. Like they do not tie together. The fact that Justine and her sister are nice is great, but it has nothing to do with their content. What I'm telling you is they produce content, and that's fine. But I'm not going to be the Joe Rogan. We're not going to be Joe Rogan Experience. It's not what we're trying to do. It gives us a vehicle, and that we have a great following. Everybody who follows us is great, but I realize it does not resonate to other people, right? The way me and you do this show, it's okay because it costs us $60 a month, right? Between the Pinecast and what we're doing on StreamYard, that's really all I'm in about $60. You know what? I get a chance to have a relationship with Joe that I've had for years and years and years. And me and Joe have a relationship that transcends physically meeting each other. We have never met in person, right? I've never actually met Andrew in person, and we live in the same fucking state, which is ridiculous, right? I can really drive to like Columbia and be an hour and a half.
Take the 4 hours to do it.
Don't do that.
Right. Yeah. But I'm saying we're within 4 hours of each other. And I've never met Andrew in person.
Change that, Sam.
I am. And I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, but possibly this week I may meet up with my first actual interviewee on this show.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Maybe. I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. I want to make sure it happens, but I've actually
Carl Pay. It's Carl Pay.
It's not Carl Pay. It's okay. But I'm saying is this would be my first actual physical like meeting up with somebody, having cocktails and having drinks. Joe's actually done that. I've never done that because he got a chance to go to Hawaii and meet all these people. But he saw, but I will tell Joe, not because of these people being bad people, but he saw the stratification on who are in the in crowd. It's like high school, right? Who's in, who's not, and you're here. And the person he talked to was like, hey, Mr. Mo, like his name is Michael Fisher. And I would say, hey, Michael Fisher, how are you doing? Good to meet you, sir. And here's the thing. I respect these people, but I don't beatify these people.
Right. Yeah.
Marquez Brownlee, Arun, John Rettinger, Super Saf, all these people, they, at the end of the day, are talented, great, fantastic, but yet when I would meet with them, I would say, hi, I'm Sam. I belong in the same group you belong in. We're all tech creators. Now, the stratification may be a little different. Like you clearly have 20 million subscribers. I have 100. But what I present to the tech space is just as valid as you do. You happen to have a different kind of a setup and different kind of situation, but because you're popular and I'm not as popular, it doesn't invalidate my effort and it doesn't devaluate your effort. We're all there. Yeah. I just don't choose to get in your space because I don't care. At the end of the day, they're people too. And here's the thing. I have a second job where I work and I've met hockey players and people in St. Louis. I have served drinks to Wayne Gretzky. Right? Ooh. And you know what? And you know what's funny? He's a regular guy. And I even call him Mr. Gretzky. He was like, oh, God, just call me Wayne. Right.
Sam,
right. He's a normal dude.
Let me tell you a quick story, like to put what you're saying in perspective. I used to work for Arsenal Football Club, right? I finished my shift. Me and my buddy was going to go to the pub. And we was told, Thierry Henry's at Highbury House around the corner. You can see him. Me and my buddy just went, we'll go to the pub. We went to the pub because there's just going to be a load of people around him. And what am I going to do? Just see him from a short distance. Might have got to shake his hand, maybe. But I thought, you know what? He's just a guy who's a great footballer. I love watching him play football.
Mm-hmm.
But me and my buddy just wanted to get a beer. So we went to the pub.
And like I said,
and that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. It's not because I don't respect. I mean, I grew up watching Wayne Gretzky play hockey, and I'm like idolizing him. And then when you're sitting there and you're like, hey, I just want a whatever drink, and you're handing it to him and said, hey, Mr. Gretzky, is like, just call me Wayne. And we had a conversation for a couple minutes. We just talked hockey about his favorite players. Who does he like currently in the NHL? Obviously, he's obviously retired. But the fact that he was just a normal, regular guy to talk to, and it's just like, when you get past all that, you realize that Michael Fisher is clearly talented. He's clearly accomplished. He's clearly somebody you should respect, which I 100% do. He is not better than me. He's just different than me.
Yeah,
has nothing to do with him. And again, but the fact, I'm not going to beg him to come on the show. I just won't. I'll reach out to him, which I have before. I've reached out to him and he's never responded, which is fine. But at some point, all these people had one follower or two or a dozen or 10 or 100. Now they've gotten lucky and they've worked hard and they've put their effort in. But for everybody who's been accomplished, I would say there's a dozen people behind them who have not been accomplished, who have failed, who have dropped out. And they're like, you know what? I'm done. Right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. Because but me and Joe and I were having this conversation a couple weeks ago. We have a private chat on Telegram, me and him do. And he said, man, you see all these people drop out. We've had over 100 podcasts together. And I said, yeah. He goes,
that's crazy.
You want to keep going? I go, fuck yeah. I want to keep going because, again, we do it for love of the game, and we're not trying to be all that in a bag of chips. It'd be great if we could be more popular, but then then there's a change because we can't take a week off, right? Because we have people who are paying for the content, and we have to deliver that content, right? Whereas Joe's working, he's not feeling great, and we have a family situation, or it's the 4th of July or a holiday, and Joe's like, "Hey, man, let's just skip a week," and I go, "Yeah, let's do that," right? And we do that for our family, and you know what? It works out great. As opposed to, would imagine if we were like Marquez and we had people paying tens of thousands of dollars, we would have comments. You suck. Where's my Sunday podcast? You owe me. Da 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 da. I'm like,
well, it goes from like right now. You're doing it because you enjoy it versus like becoming a job, and you have all those outside influences that are driving where you take your content. You know, I think that's a big part of it. And just making sure that it's a joy and fun to do.
Yeah, and I will tell you that it's been a really great experience on the Nomad Tech project with Joe. I really, even though Joe and I have never met in person, we will, and I look forward to this every week. And then when I reach out to you, and here's the thing, Andrew, I started saying I've reached out to him like early in the week and I said, "Are you still good? Are you still good?" It's because I even said to him, I was like, I am excited that I get to talk to you on the show.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It's so much fun to be able to just shoot the shit with you guys and just hang out. And I'm glad that people like our conversations and it is just genuine fun. Yeah.
So I guess the last question is when can we have you next on the show? We had talked about about a monthly or every 6 weeks or so cadence. With your current situation, are you able to do that?
I'd be good for doing another 6 weeks.
Yeah. So like maybe mid-April or mid-August or whatever, like maybe end of August kind of
thing. Maybe second half of August would probably be a little bit better.
So we have like August 24th. That seems like a good Sunday. And so we just want to have you on because we love having a conversation. We haven't get into all the things like the other things that are adjacent to tech, right? So the sci-fi stuff and
the last couple of times I've been on, like we went all down those rabbit holes, and it was kind of nice to come back to tech a little bit.
I like that too, but also what I like too is all more about like space, like all the things that we're interested in, and also sport and food because now you're in Kansas City and they have their own culture. obviously barbecue wise, but everything else going on. So we should really kind of we'll talk about the tech because obviously we have to get to that place because in 6 weeks we'll have all sorts of other tech to talk about, but really more about your experience and then more about you and then where you live and then what you experience and your new job and really more of a personal kind of the captain and getting to know the captain more in a personal way because I think that's more important than obviously tech because everybody has an opinion on tech, but only you have an opinion of you.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great just to be able to connect. Just people.
And Joe's got all those he's got almost like a partial sleeve. I have for all the folks at home.
It's not a full sleeve.
Yeah.
I mean,
so it's a roly poly. Yeah, I got my first tattoo. It's a twinsy with my daughter, Kaylin. So
and that means more than some of the shitty ones I've got, mate. I love that.
Well, she asked me. She goes, "Hey, would you want to get a tattoo?" I'm like, okay, sure. What do you got? And she's like, well, the roly poly. I'm like, not a great manly thing. Where do you have it? She goes, I have it right. So she has it right here. And I said, she goes, well, you can put it anywhere. I said, well, would that be a true twinsy tattoo if I put it in a different location? And she's like, no, not really. I said, so let me get, so I went to I had in the same spot from the same artist that did hers in the same location in St. Louis. So I booked the thing. I went and did it. And so we both have the exact same tattoo in the exact same location from the exact same artist in the exact same tattoo parlor. So it's really cool. Like I didn't know my first tattoo was going to be a roly poly. Wasn't exactly what I was looking to be. But you know what? It's pretty cool. And you know what? And I will tell you that my daughter goes, my dad didn't want to do it, but you did it. And you didn't ask questions. And so it's cool. And I love Joe's tattoos. The fact that he's got this hole and underneath, I can tell you this only took about 5 minutes. It wasn't painful. It wasn't comfortable either. It was kind of like, eh. So I know that he's got underneath like this spot.
Yeah, it's hard work.
And it's got color. Yeah. God damn it.
Dude.
Yeah. It's crazy.
See, I just have scars. I don't have any tattoos yet.
Right.
Yeah, well, also I never want to get anything that's like a brand of like I thought one day maybe a little Star Trek thing here, but I don't want to have like a brand of anything because there was a joke I saw where the most tattoo artists were saying that the most cover-ups that they ever did for millennials these days are cover-ups of Harry Potter tattoos that old ones.
Well, I think if you get a Klingon logo, that would be kind of baller.
Fair enough.
That would be baller. I'm just saying.
Just get the forehead ridges tattooed on.
Right, sure. Okay. Yeah, your employer might
Nomad Tech Project.
Right. You get NTP logo tattooed on your forehead. Right here. So absolutely. Hey, Ron, welcome, sir. We're about ready to sign off for the thanks for coming by. I appreciate you as always. And Michael Peppertech, he's Missouri is kind of farther away. It's actually I've driven to the Upper Peninsula before. It's about 8 or 10 hours, so it's a little bit of a but I've been coming to Michigan because I've been to Detroit a bunch of times. Detroit Metro sucks as an airport, but Upper Michigan is actually pretty nice. It's actually a nice area, so we should check that. We should do it. When Joe comes in town, he comes to the U.S. We're going to do a tour. We're going to go to Kansas City. We're going to go see Michael Peppertech. We're just gonna drive around the entire.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a U.S. tour. Yeah. That'll be good. Anyway, we're trying to see if we can get the
We'll live stream it. Nomad Tech Project does America.
In the car. We're just driving and we're just gonna stream. Right. It's gonna be like a 24-hour stream, right? Oh, by the way, I forgot about that. We have the other stream we have going on. So for folks who are following the Tech Disruptors, I know you are following Devin. I was supposed to prep this up and I forgot to do it. He's doing a giveaway and I told him I was going to mention it. So if you're watching, you probably, and unfortunately we went at the same time here at the end of the day. So check out he's doing a giveaway and it's for a charity event. And I'm sorry, I felt so bad. I was supposed to prep this up and I forgot about it just till now. I'll try to put it in the show notes, but he's doing some work with a local charity he's doing, and he's trying to get donations for that. So I will try to find that information here in the chat. But check that out. And also make sure you always check out the Tech Disruptors. We always, not a sister show, but a show that we always like to jump on real quick and kind of see what's going on. So it'll be pretty cool. If you could, I try to get the information put in the show notes. I forgot about it just until now, and just kind of like had a moment where like, oh shit. I told him when we did our show that I was going to mention it, and I kind of forgot. So that's what happens when you don't prepare, right? You show up and you suck. Anyway, so it's good. I was on the show with him last week, so if you actually happen a chance to go back and look at the Tech Disruptor podcast from last week, it was me and Jason and Devin. So check that out, and let me see if I can find the information, and I will try to post it in the show notes. Also, too, I don't know if you saw this. I'm gonna post this real quick since we're already here. I saw this the other day, and I know for sure that Andrew's gonna love this. Check this shit out. So look what's coming out. They're redoing this. The 64. Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And so the Commodore 64 is coming out. And so you have
transparent.
You have three. You have the non-transparent, right? The basic, right? Ooh. Old school. It's 10,000. It's like emulated, but you can actually run. You can connect everything to it. Old cartridges, CRTs, data sets, disk drives, all of it works. Oh yeah.
They just need to pay William Shatner to do a video promoting it.
Right. They have a Founders Edition and a Starlight. So Starlight is clear, right? So it's a clear Commodore 64. But then you've got this one, which I'm almost tempted. So it's the Founders Edition. So what happens is you have 24 gold-plated badges, satin keys, and all the original programmers. They actually have their dog tags inside of the actual chassis.
But for me, there's something about that basic beige that just
dude, I'm all in. But man, it's kind of baller. So if you look inside the chassis, check this out. So if you're old school like me, you've had a Commodore 64. This might be pretty cool. I'm just saying. And then here's the thing. This is what's Andrew. This is what you're gonna love. Check out this shit. Oh yeah, check out that. Remember the old catalog? Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Oh,
this
man, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, it plays all the games. You can plug in all your cartridges, CRTs, data. If you have all the here's the thing. If you have the original Commodore 64, right, plus play on tape, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know, right? This is actually pretty killer. And then you've got the regular specs on this, right? So I don't know, man. Commodores always have that was really my first computer back in the day. And if you're an old school computer head, this might be pretty cool.
That's
right?
cool. It takes thumb drives.
Right. That's kind of cool. So I'm just saying now it's not the Commodore 128 because I did have both. I had the 128 and the 64. But in the old school Commodore 64, kids don't know what we had to go through back in the day to have computers. But I mean, this was the computer for anybody who was a young person, like doing COBOL or BASIC or whatever kind of programming. This thing was the computer the first one you could have in your home that you didn't have to have tape drives or anything else.
So it's funny because our first computer, well, it was a hand-me-down of what we treated as a game console, but it was a Tandy TRS-80.
Yeah. Nice.
And like there was Dungeons of Daggerat that you'd play, and like you're like swing sword, you have to spell it out and everything. But like in the tapes, so nice, so fun. Yeah, such a fun era.
Absolutely. So hey, if you're the Commodore guy and you're old like me and maybe some other people, and maybe you want to try to relive some of that Commodore 64 life, here you go. Right, check them out. It's basically the website is real simple. It's commodore.net. Check it out. And they have a Kickstarter. Maybe you can get on some of those. I don't know, man. It's kind of cool. I just want to buy an old one just to see if it works. And so it's pretty cool. So
yeah, that's legit.
But yeah, we'd love to have you on again, Andrew. Maybe the end of August, and we'll talk about it, whatever comes up. And at some point, you may have to upgrade your phone. We're curious to see where you're going to go.
Someday it'll happen, but I'm just like holding on to the SD card until they pry it out of my cold dead hands.
Right. I got a 256. You're not going to get it. Right.
Yeah. I've got a 1 terabyte in mine. I'm just like, no.
I was going to say, he's got a terabyte, man. I know it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's about that life. That's what happens when you're a dedicated human being like the captain. You have a terabyte because you're about that life. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, again, at the end of the day, we're going to end the show here. Like I said, thank you so much.
Now we're going to have to end it now. But next show you're on, I want to know what's on that terabyte card.
It's right. Mostly music and
porn
backup.
And porn.
All the prawn. Yeah.
All the prawns. Yeah, it's okay.
All the prawns.
It's like really no, it's okay. Yeah, he's going to show us at the end of the day, and so we'll talk about that again. So, and remember, if you are looking to skin your phones and you want to give it a little bit of color, and you don't really like the color because it's black or white or it's kind of basic, remember to go to extremeskins.co.uk. Check them out. They can get skins for your consoles. You can get them for your phones. You can get them for anything else you want to got going on. Check them out. They have buy one, get ones. One, it gives you a little bit of a color change, but also protects your phone from scratches and damage and anything like that. It's really nice. You should check it out. And you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Plus, if you're in the U.S., they will ship to the U.S. Just remember, they'll ship it to you, but if the Royal Mail or it gets a little weird, it might take a little while, but it has nothing to do with them. But there you go, man. Check them out. You got Apple, right? If you're about that life, you got your MacBooks, you got your phones, you got some other stuff going on. Check them out. We love them. We use them. Extremeskins.co.uk. Check them out. Remember, buy one, get one freeze. And remember to take care of your phone, give it some color, and skin your shit because we love them. And that's what we do here at the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe. So for Andrew, thank you so much for taking your time. I love the look. The bow tie is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that. And we need affiliate links. Sure. We actually have to be officially sponsored by everybody, so that's okay. But at the end of the day, Jermaine, thanks for coming on, and Ron and Jimmy Fire Dragon and Michael Peppertech and all the folks that drop in. We always love your comments, and thanks for also Peter. I know he was in here earlier. He had to drop early. So thanks for coming to the Nomad Tech Project. This is almost a 1 hour and 45-minute show. So you never know.
Yeah.
You know what? We can't actually just let everything go. We have the captain on as much as we do. We love the conversation, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. We really
thank you for having me. This has just been it's always a privilege and a pleasure.
Absolutely. And Joe, at the end of the day, he's got his shirt on. It's hot in the UK. It's like 400 degrees Celsius. Right. It's 400 degrees Celsius in the UK. I don't know, or something close. I don't know how Kelvin works. Whatever. It's
like
fine.
it right now, man.
Right. At the end of the day. And Delavan, my man, we need to talk about him, getting him on the show too.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Also, he had a great video. Go check him out. He talks about how he's like kind of stuck on Pixel, right? So if you're wondering why people stay on Pixel phones for the software, Delavan does a great job of breaking that video down. It's like a week ago. He talks about why he's essentially addicted to Pixel. Check that out, because if you're a Pixel person or maybe thought you weren't going to get in that boat, don't watch that video, because you might be in the same boat with Delavan and me, where you're just addicted to all the Pixel software and you're kind of stuck, right? So he does a great job of breaking that down. And it's such a great creator, and I love Delavan as much as anybody else in their world. So check him out. So for myself and for Andrew and for Joe Hickey, thank you so much for tuning in to Nomad Tech Project. We will see you next Sunday. However, the 18th is Friday. Fun fact, that's my 50th birthday. It's Sunday. It's Friday the 18th.
Woo, happy early birthday.
Right. So anyway,
I don't believe it.
I know, it's crazy. I'm 50, right? It's going to be crazy. So anyway, that's going to be on Friday the 18th of July. So at the end of the day, we'll be on for the Sunday show real quick. And like I said, we don't have a guest lined up, but that's okay. Just tune in. We'll have a good time. And Andrew, thank you so much, sir, for coming in. And we always appreciate having the captain on our show. We love it to death.
Thank you. It's great.
All right. For myself, for Joe Hickey, and for Andrew, thanks for coming in. We will see you next Sunday on the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Don't be a dick. And we love you guys. Take care. See you next Sunday. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.